day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot out in North Houston, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That's the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. If you have any questions about the plants that I feature, you can see it is a cloudy day. It was actually filmed about 3 hours before my grandmother's 90th birthday celebration. So I figured I would actually do a big box or plant shopping video before I actually went to her 90th birthday celebration. Super excited to share that journey with you as well, especially for those that are actually a YouTube member for my YouTube membership page, the Super Plant Foldies. If you are interested in joining my YouTube membership tier, there is a direct link in the comment section below. But today we are in a small town just north of Houston. I was actually visiting my grandmother and my family. We are actually having a family reunion, but you know, whenever I travel, I like to go and check out the big box stores as well.
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Live Plants.
And I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna share the video.
You have to.
You have to. Today. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. To start off today's plant shopping video, you can see that this particular Home Depot actually has the Exotic Angel by Costa Farms fixture with they're actually holding these hanging baskets of Costa Farms plants. These are all for $19.98. We're going to start off with this one right here. This one is some type of fern, and it's in a ceramic planter. So as far as the hanging baskets by Costa Farms, they really do have quite a bit of a selection. I love the fact that they have these readily available. So if you're looking for a different wide variety of plants, Costa Farms typically has them available, especially if you go big box store plant shopping at Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart. Now this town right here is actually a very small town, but I actually enjoy shopping at this Home Depot because they do have quite a bit of a selection, and oftentimes this particular Home Depot has a lot of the plants on sale. You can see right here we've got a Tradescanthia, Nanook, and this one is also for $9, or actually not $9, I'm sorry, $19.98. It's a beautiful plant. I actually have one of my Tradescanthias that got super leggy. I pretty much took cuttings of it, stuck it into the soil, and after about 2.5 weeks, I see that there's some new growth on it. And that's the a good way to actually promote new growth, is just by chopping it up. And then you can see right over here, we've got a Hedera helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera helix. This is the English ivy. This one is called the Asterix ivy here for $19.98. This is actually pretty massive. I love the shape of the leaves of this particular English ivy. And you know, as far as English ivy, if you want to grow them, they grow so well if you put them outside in an outdoor patio where it just gets protection from the hot afternoon sun. And then over here for another $19.98, it is another hanging basket of a lipstick plant. So here's the thing about lipstick plants. They're very similar in the texture of the leaves. They've got a very waxy texture as compared to Hoyas. I don't have any lipstick plants, but I've been also told that they're actually easy to take care of. If you are familiar with the plant care tips, I always encourage our plant foldies to leave that in the comment section. And for those who are actually new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers Plant Foldies, welcome to my plant shopping YouTube channel. You can see that I do these daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. I call my viewers Plant Foldies because this is me merging my interests of obviously plants as well as folding origami, paper cranes, and just origami, hence the term Foldies. I love the fact that you guys have really embraced the Plant Foldy community. We have quite a bit of Plant Foldies, and I really do appreciate you guys always coming alongside with me as I do these daily plant shopping videos. But to kill a little bit of time, I decided to actually go to this Home Depot before my grandmother's 90th celebration. I am super excited to share some footage for the Plant Foldy community of my grandmother Belen's 90th celebration, as well as the Super Plant Foldy tier, where you'll see some more in-depth content for that. I am really working on getting some really cool videos for the YouTube membership tier. So again, for those that are interested, it is only for $2.99. I joke around with some of my best friends like Isaac, hi JR Sings. I mentioned that basically for $2.99, you would get quite a bit of content that showcases my personal plant collection, my lifestyle blog, anything that's kind of random, some of my interests. So if you really want to get to know me as a person, and aside from just my plant content, this Super Plant Foldy tier is going to be a good one. I need to go ahead and get all of that content available for you, but I mean, for $2.99, that's basically like if you drank a Starbucks drink or if you bought a bag of chips for a snack. So hopefully you might consume that exclusive content I have for my YouTube membership tier. I've been really promoting it just because I would love for more Plant Foldies to become Super Plant Foldies, and you can find the direct link in the comment section. I realize that if you watch my YouTube videos on the YouTube app on your phone, you will not see the join button. So I have pinned it on my comment section for all of my videos. But anyways, as you can see right here, these are the smart plants or the succulent hanging baskets that you will typically see at Home Depot. They always have that fixture for some of the hanging succulent plants. You can see this one right here is a Peperomia scandens or Cupid's Peperomia. Beautiful plant. It's got some nice variegation. When you touch the leaves, it's very waxy. You don't have to really water this as often. And actually, all of the plants that I'm picking up right now, these hanging basket succulents, are plants that you don't have to water too often. And then here's a Hydra Helix. Just kidding. This is not a Hedera helix, although it does look like it. This is what you call a wax ivy, even though it's not really an English ivy, more so even in ivy in general. It's really interesting that it really does look like ivy. That's why they call this the wax ivy. Now, I've had this particular ivy in my plant collection 3 times. I have sent it to Plant Heaven 3 times because I really haven't figured out whether it's the watering where I just didn't water it enough, and it also ended up getting spider mites. So even though it is not necessarily a Hydra helix, it still ended up getting spider mites. So I don't know if it's just the shape of the leaf or what it is, but it is also a spider mite magnet. It is a beautiful plant. It's a very unique plant, and honestly, I don't see this as often at Home Depot. It's one of the more uncommon succulent type plants in a hanging basket. Now, these are all for $12.98 by Smart Plants, and you can see this one is actually trailing. It's got some vining going on. Now, as far as the basic care tips for this particular plant and most of the hanging baskets of succulents, you just need lots of light. Bright light is best. I wouldn't really recommend putting them in full sun, and then just water when the soil is completely dry. Now, as far as pest preventatives, I would utilize a neem oil spray. So I have a DIY neem oil spray that I make called the Foldy Mist, which basically consists of taking a conventional spray bottle, filling it up with 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil spray that you can buy from Amazon, 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, either 90% strength or 70% strength, and then 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide. Mix it into the spray bottle, fill it up with water, and just drop 1 drop of liquid dish soap. Shake, 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 and you have a cheap and inexpensive pest preventative spray. But you can see right here, I just love the fact that they do have these smart plants. Smart plants actually has quite a bit of these succulents. This one is a burro's tail, a burrito tail succulent. It's a really nice texture on the leaves. And you know, as far as these succulents, if you're looking for inexpensive hanging baskets of succulents, you definitely want to go through Home Depot. You know, big box store plant shopping, you typically will find very cost-effective plant pricing for either tropical house plants, indoor tropical plants, and garden plants. So we're gonna go ahead and walk over the outdoor section because this is where they actually house a lot of the indoor tropical plants. Feel free to chime into the comment section, plant foldies, and let me know what you think of the plants. But we are going to go ahead and take quite a bit of time looking at proven winner plants. So these are the proven winner caladium bulbs. So in my last couple of videos, I've featured caladiums because that's really my flavor of the month in terms of just spring 2025 gardening. So you can see right here, we've got some caladiums for $9.98. You get, I think, 2 bulbs of these different types of caladiums. I love proven winner caladium hybrids because you can see that they've got some interesting colors. They're very good performers. Now, as far as growing caladiums in bulbs, you want to plant them in fast draining soil. You can grow them in containers. I would recommend putting them in terracotta planters. And the reason being is you do not want to overwater caladiums because that will rot off the bulbs. Now, if you plant them in a landscape, these particular caladiums by proven winners can take a little bit more sun than the average caladium, but I would still put them in a situation where they are protected from the hot afternoon sun. If they get a lot of light morning sun, that is best, especially for the coloration. But as I pick around here, you can see that they've got different types of caladiums. Feel free to leave in the comments which ones you like. I definitely want to acquire a couple of specifically proven winner plants, proven winner caladiums. You can see that this is the Heart to Heart series, and you know, whenever you look at caladiums, they do have like a heart-shaped leaf. I do love the fact that they just have so many vibrant colors, and you know, I've shared this in almost all my videos, but I really do gravitate toward more colorful foliage versus plants that are just green. I do appreciate green plants, but if I could find something with lots of color, I just think it's a little bit more joyful, it's a little bit more vibrant. It kind of matches my personality in terms of just being very colorful. So if you've ever met me in person, you already know I will, number one, talk your ear off, and number two, I am not shy by any means. And hopefully, plant foldies, I will run into you guys someday. I do plan on going to Houston PlantCon 2025 alongside with the Cultivation Corner, which is a plant podcast with Janae Simone, Steven of I Lift Plants. We are actually having the finale this week as this video premieres for season 2. And I really appreciate all the cultivators, which is what we call our YouTube viewers on the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. If you haven't already checked out the Plant Podcast, please do a search on YouTube for the Cultivation Corner. We would love for you to not only press the subscribe button, but make sure you turn on all notifications for the plant podcast and actually for my YouTube channel as well. So if you like daily plant shopping videos, if you like to look at plants, if you want to be part of the Plant Foldy community, please make sure you are pressing the subscribe button, but not only the subscribe button, make sure that you convert the subscribe button and move it to all notifications. It's really interesting, like I said again, that YouTube has analytics, and I've noticed that only 38% of our plant foldies have actually pressed all notifications. So I would hope you guys would double check that after this video ends to make sure all notifications are turned on so you don't miss any of the updates. But as you can see right here, this particular Home Depot has all of their plants outdoors. You know, Houston is a little bit more humid in general when you compare it to Dallas, which is where I am based at. And so some of these plants actually do very well outdoors. Obviously, obviously it's protected from the direct sun. You can see we are looking at Costa Farms plants. I've noticed that these plants are actually $1 less than say Lowe's. So instead of paying $8.98 for a 5-inch planter, it is $7.98 at this particular Home Depot, which brings me to another point. As I pick up these gorgeous exotic angel plants by Costa Farms, you always want to compare and contrast plant pricing, whether it's at a big box store or a local small business or nursery. Don't always assume a specific big box store is going to be more cost effective. Sometimes, or actually, I've noticed that there is a 50-50 chance that if you shop at a small business, a local nursery, it is also comparable to the plant pricing that you would find at a big box store. I've always been an advocate when it comes to supporting small businesses. Shout out to Peta's Planters, my favorite plant shop in Dallas by far. PetasPlanters.com. Check it out. You can actually order plants online. Peta's Planters now ships nationwide, so that's super exciting. And actually, we will be doing a live selling event on the Peta's Planters Instagram, May 7th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with the Cultivation Corner. You already know it's a fun little show we have, and there's going to be some amazing plants such as Aglaonemas. And then you can see right here, Proven Winners has really popped up, especially over the spring. You can see that there are different bulbs that you can pick up. And then these are just the Home Depot caladiums. These are also for $9.98. You can see that caladiums, when you really take the time to look at them, I mean, look at that. Beautiful pink foliage. Now, I would say if you're looking for cost-effective caladium bulbs, the best place to shop would be at Costco. They actually have quite a bit of caladium bulbs. I remember buying a bunch from Costco, planting them late April, early May, and then by summertime, I had a full back patio of probably 60 plus planters of different types of caladiums. It was really fun, and you can actually see snippets of my old caladium garden on my YouTube membership page. Again, if you want to join and become a super plant foldie, definitely click the link that is pinned on the comment section. I'm actually going to try to post at least twice a day moving forward on the YouTube membership page. I just need to get a lot of my content preloaded, pre-edited, and I know last week I was really inconsistent about doing daily plant shopping videos. I know that some of you guys mentioned it's not the same when it's not daily plant shopping, but I will say it does take a toll making plant shopping videos, 1 hour plant shopping videos on a daily basis, because you have to think I have to drive to a big box store after a 10-hour shift at work at minimum, film for about an hour, do another voiceover that would be another hour, wait for the video to render and edit, which could take another hour, and then upload, and then it's just a whole process, which I don't really mind at all because I do feel like it is part of my daily routine. Somebody asked me, Richie, do you ever sleep? I do. I still get my 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but I'm very mindful and I try to maximize my productivity when it comes to just all the time I have during the day. Now, as far as the H2O Leaf Joy series, you can see that Proven Winners has quite a bit of plants. I really love this Thenanthe, for instance. Really beautiful plant. However, I know that this plant is still going to be a challenging plant, even though it is growing hydroponically, which means it's just growing in straight water. You wouldn't necessarily have to worry about watering it because it's sitting in water. However, that particular plant is still very susceptible to spider mites. And then as you can see right here, we've got a bunch of Proven Winner 6-inch planters. Now, these are typically $29.98. You can see that this has been super sun stressed. This is a philodendron Ring of Fire. You can see that some of the leaves have gotten a little too much sun or light. And then you can see right over here, this is some type of calathea. I think this is Leopardina for $29.98. You can see that Proven Winners actually has different types of plants for different spaces. This one right here is a cling on Ficus. Benjamina. This one has some really nice green on green variegation. With any ficus plant, as I mentioned in all my videos talking about ficus plants, you must, and this is a must, you must have quite a bit of bright light in order for the plant to do well. And this particular plant right here actually will let you know if it's not happy. It will literally shed its leaves if you underwater it, or you don't give it enough light, or if it's just under stress. So that's the interesting part about the ficus Benjamina. And then we can see right over here, this is another ficus plant right here. This is the Amstel King, a really nice looking ficus. And if you look at the actual stem, it's got a really woody texture, really woody trunk. I like that texture on this particular ficus. Again, if you're going to have ficus plants, any type of ficus plant, please make sure that you're either putting it in a south facing window, a west facing window in your space, or better yet, grow it outdoors in a shaded patio first and slowly integrate it to more light. Actually, a lot of our plants right now, you can take a lot of your indoor tropical plants outdoors in a shaded patio area where it gets like morning light. If you want to see massive quick growth, or better yet, if you're rehabbing plants that did not do well, like plants that are either leggy, plants that need more growth, take them outside. Trust and believe that for some reason, taking your plants from indoors and bringing them outdoors really is like a boost of steroids for the plant. I've noticed that quite a bit. And if you're really trying to add some growth to your plants, especially if you have really good weather between 70 to 80 degrees for the spring weather, that's a perfect time to bring out your plants to get some additional growth. Now over here are some more Leaf Joy H2O bowls. This is a Syngonium for $19.98. And actually Syngoniums actually do well in hydroponic growing conditions, because Syngoniums tend to be a lot thirstier than the average plant. Most people will say that they are an easy to care for plant. I would say yes, but if you do not water them consistently, that's where you start to run into some trouble. Dracaena Janet Craig compacta. This is another super easy plant. And if you notice that the leaves are a little bit dusty, that's because some of these plants have probably gotten some hard water on it, or just mud or something of that nature. That's a quick fix. So say if you were to buy this plant, I would just spray that Foldy Mist spray that I told you with the neem oil spray. It would definitely make it shiny, and it would definitely clean the plant up. You can see over here Dracaena as well. Love this Tornado Dracaena, $19.98, and it's literally sitting in water. So as far as Leaf Joy by proven winners, these are really amazing plants that you can put in your space. That particular plant can actually tolerate lower light conditions. And then we got an Epipremnum aureum jade pothos. So this is just a green jade pothos. This is one of the fastest growing pothos because it's just green. And you know, any plant that has a lot of green around it, you have all that chlorophyll, it's able to photosynthesize, and it's just going to have a more vigorous growth. So we're just going to continue to pick up some of these plants. Again, plant foldies, let me know in the comments section what you think about these proven winner plants. And if you haven't already and you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. That thumbs up or like button you can find at the top left corner of the screen. That definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. can see that we've got quite a bit of proven winter leaf joy littles here. This one is another Hoya, and you'll see that proven winners, aside from all of their beautiful outdoor garden plants, we've got these indoor tropical plants, and I love the fact that they do offer different varieties of syngoniums, philodendrons, monsteras, and Hoyas. So if you are a fan of proven winter plants, I would definitely suggest going to a Home Depot. This Home Depot has a good selection of proven winter plants, and hopefully they will continue to just push out more proven winter plants as the season continues to become even more peak for all of these indoor tropical plants. For all the plant foldies that are watching, again, all of my plant shopping videos, really appreciate that you guys will tune in and listen to my commentary about the plants or things outside of the plant shopping video. And it's just really nice to see that you guys have been super kind to me. I know at times there might be some people that will come out there and maybe say a comment that's not always the kindest, but just know that you, the actual plant foldies that appreciate my work, is what makes me continue to be my most authentic self, as well as providing these daily plant shopping videos. If anything, I just love seeing a bunch of people on the live premiere chats, in the comment sections, interacting with each other, because at the end of the day, we all love plants. And speaking of loving plants, take a look at this. So this is for $15.98. So this is labeled as a Vigoro plant. This is an Aglaonema white lance. There's 3 of them in each pot. This is a 6-inch planter, but this particular Home Depot actually has these on sale for $9.98. I am actually super proud of myself, because even though this is a great deal for $9.98, I'm going to put on a little bit of restraint in terms of just spending money on plants. I have quite a bit of plants that I need to actually tend. As I've stated before, I tend to be super busy. The past week, for instance, has just been really busy to the point where I wasn't as consistent about making plant shopping videos. But this week, I've got my groove back on, and hopefully the consistency continues. And plant foldies over here, we have another Ficus shivriana for only $9.98. So all of these Vigoro plants are actually on sale. Normally it's for $15.98. These are all for $9.98. And of course, this would not be a Grow Folds plant shopping video if we did not show the classic Aglaonema red Siam. So $15.98. But if you look very closely, this is labeled as Vigoro plant, but you'll notice that these plants right here that I'm showing you are actually grown by Costa Farms. So as far as Costa Farms is concerned, they truly have a huge pull in the plant market, and it's really exciting to see that they continue to push out new releases for plants. Like I said, again, I did contact Justin, and he did mention that Aglaonema do take a little while to grow in terms of the stock, but they do have some varieties that they are currently working and testing on. So hopefully in the near future, we're going to see some more Aglaonemas, but I am excited at the fact that, again, for $9.88, not 98 cents, these plants right here are on sale. So I'm just going to continue to keep showing you these plants. You will see that there is a whole table full of Philodendron Pink Princess by Vigoro plants. These are grown by Costa Farms. And if I had to choose a Philodendron Pink Princess, it would be this one, because if you look at the leaves, these leaves actually have more pink variegation as compared to all the other Philodendron Pink Princess. All the other ones are not as highly variegated. And with the Philodendron Pink Princess, the variegation or the pink is really impacted by the plant's initial genetics. So if the plant doesn't necessarily have a lot of pinks in their foliage, even if you do flood it with lots of light, it doesn't always push out the pink coloration. A lot of the Philodendron Pink Princess, the variegation is really influenced by its initial genetics. Now, some plants, like for instance, the Monstera albo, the genetics play a factor, but also lighting helps. And then as I spin around here, now these are the official Costa Farms trending tropical plants. These are all for $19.98. This is a Peperomia Champs Ulysses. So if you look at this full table, we've got a bunch of Japanese pothos. So these were originally pothos that came from the Teruno World Series. So they've got a lot of different types of Japanese pothos. This one is called Champs Ulysses. So if you look at it closely, neon foliage, but it also has the leaves that have a little bit more curling texture. So this is the neon variety of it. And then when you start looking at the green varieties, that is called the Peperomia Shangri-La. It's also known as Peperomia Godzilla, but you'll see that it looks like spinach. Some people are not really fond of this plant. I find it very interesting. It is a little bit of a slower growing pothos plant, but at the end of the day, these are still easy to care for plants. And it's another example of how Costa Farms makes a lot of these rare and uncommon plants easily accessible for the general public, for the masses, for everybody that just wants to collect plants. You'll notice that it is in a self-watering planter. This trending tropical is in a different planter. It does have a little bit texture, which kind of matches the Peperomia Shangri-La pothos. So we're just going to continue to look at some of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section, again, plant foldies, as I take you alongside with me to go plant shopping. I love this Home Depot. You know, for a small town outside of North Houston, I would say this is one of my go-to Home Depots to feature. I definitely love filming this particular Home Depot because they do have quite a bit of plants to pick from, and usually they have their plants on sale. I mean, every time I visited this particular Home Depot, they have it on sale. So let's continue to look up at some of these plants, and you never know, I may end up buying a plant. I have really had great restraint in purchasing plants. I always say, if you're gonna go try to save money on buying plants, have purpose on why you are buying the plant. Be intentional about why you're adding a certain plant into your plant collection. That way it becomes less overwhelming because you're not buying as many plants and you're not having to take care of as many plants. That's something that I've learned. And so we're just gonna admire a lot of these plants by Costa Farms, and of course, proven winners, Leaf Joy. This Home Depot plant shopping experience is not complete until I pull out the Aglaonema Golden Bay. You can see that this is another beautiful, easy to care for plant. Now, here's the thing. I know I've been talking a lot about Aglaonemas. Obviously, we want to hashtag popularize Aglaonema by just talking about it. And the thing about it is, there are many colorful varieties of Aglaonema. The ones that are the easiest, however, are going to be the large leaf green version. So we've got Aglaonema Golden Bay, we've got some Aglaonema Silver Bay, we've got Aglaonema Stripes, Aglaonema Nicole. Those are the Aglaonemas that are going to be the easiest to take care of. When you start to look at, say, an Aglaonema Red Siam, or even some of the red varieties, pink varieties, or even lighter color varieties, the things that you have to pay attention to is number one, root rot. So I've shown you guys a lot about me converting a lot of my Aglaonema into semi-hydroponic substrate, specifically leca. My take backs from converting some of them to leca is some Aglaonema do not always survive the transfer into semi-hydroponics substrate. So I am actually a little bit more cautious about putting certain Aglaonema into semi-hydro substrates. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but what I've noticed is Aglaonema tend to like to be more on the drier side. So that's going to be a side note, and I'm actually going to do a future video episode where I talk specifically about some of my key learnings with Aglaonema, Aglaonema care tips, what Aglaonema varieties I would specifically recommend. So stay tuned for that video. Now we're gonna be looking at some of these hanging baskets by Costa Farms. This one is a lemon button fern for $19.98. And so we're gonna look at this fixture where it has a bunch of these 8-inch hanging baskets by Costa Farms. Like I said again, you know, this Home Depot for a small town outside of North Houston, they tend to have quite a bit of plants. And what's really interesting about Houston, Texas, is it's a lot more humid of an environment as compared to North Dallas. So a lot of these plants actually perform very well if you were to grow them outside in Houston, just because of the higher humidity levels. I mean, this one right here for $16.98 is a 6-inch planter of Syngonium Maria. Now with the Syngonium Maria, it does have more of a darker foliage. You want to make sure that the darker foliage is actually given more bright indirect light, because that's how it's going to maintain that chocolate brown tone. I love dark foliage plants. It's another go-to of mine, alongside with, say, orange colored plants, pink colored plants, and red colored plants. Now over here we have another beautiful Hydra Helix, or what you call the Hedera Helix. This one is a Florida ivy. And actually, this is my very first time seeing a full 8-inch hanging basket of Florida ivy. What I love about the Florida ivy is it's got a very beautiful structure to the leaf. And this, even though it is a Hedera Helix, I was super tempted to buy this because this isn't really something I have seen in terms of a full and really large foliage plant for an English ivy. I've never seen a Florida English ivy in an 8-inch hanging basket. And then over here, we've got some more creeping fig right over here. Beautiful plant. It's another one that does need a lot of bright indirect light for it to be really happy. So let's continue to walk around and explore what other plants they have available at this Home Depot. One of my favorite peperomias that I have yet to purchase is this Peperomia Pixie Lime. You'll notice that the leaves are a little bit more compact. I love the colors and even just the very subtle veining on the leaves. I think it's really stunning. And this is another plant that would be very easy to propagate through just cuttings. And that's the thing about certain plants. I'm really drawn to plants that have that high probability of being able to successfully propagate plants. I am currently propagating a bunch of pothos plants, and I'm actually separating a lot of my Aglaonema. I've just realized that, you know, the plants that you can easily propagate are fun, and you can actually bring joy to somebody because you are able to share those plants. So we'll see if I can actually share them with some of our plant foldies. But as I walk around here, you'll see that they do have quite a bit of plants regardless of just the selection. While they don't always have a variety of plants, I'm still really excited to see that we have you know, all of these proven winner caladiums. So if you don't really want to spend money on just like a full-blown caladium plant, you can actually just grow them from bulbs. And then you can see over here, we've got some more Hydra Helix. You know, I say Hydra Helix quite often on the plant shopping videos because some of the die-hard plant foldies and even the ones that are not super plant foldies just love to count how many times I say that. Now, my Hedera helix or my English ivy are still trying to recover outdoors. Like I said, again, when it comes to English ivies, you want to just see if you can grow them outdoors. Now is the time to take some of your indoor tropical plants outdoors, put them in a shaded patio area where they get some really nice, bright morning sun, and they are going to do so well for you. Trust and believe, if you have really good spring weather, they're going to put on a lot of growth for you. So as I pan away here, let's continue to walk around and see what other selections they have. And I did want to just ask the plant foldies that are watching my video today, give me some updates about some of your plants. What are your thoughts about some of the plants that you're seeing at big box stores? What other content do you want to see me put on the channel once I get some time to create it? Not only for just the main plant foldies, but for those that have actually joined the YouTube membership page, the Super Plant Foldies. What specifically would you like for me to create? Please leave that in the comment section below, because I'm really trying to brainstorm things that I can make that you guys are really going to enjoy. So let me know in the comments section, and I'm just going to keep walking around here and showing you some more of these plants. I am kind of interested in buying an Aglaonema red siam. I mean, for $9.88, that is a really good plant price. Feel free to let me know if you also think that that is a great price for an Aglaonema red siam. $9.88 for a 6-inch starter planter. Normally, you will see these for $15.98 in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. Or if you find it in just a regular 6-inch planter, it will typically be like $12.97. And you already know I do all of these shopping videos often, so I know a lot of the current plant pricing for a lot of these big box stores. They're a little bit different. I've noticed whenever you go to different cities, at least in Texas or different parts of the country. So that's something I'm also curious about plant foldies, is whether the prices that I'm showing you during my big box or plant shopping videos kind of match the same pricing you would get, say, out of Texas. And this one right here, you know, I am actually regretting the fact that I did not buy this Aglaonema white lance. I mean, I have an Aglaonema white lance, but when it comes to Aglaonemas, I don't mind having multiples of them. Actually, with PlantCon 2025 in Houston, super excited to actually get a lot of Aglaonemas. I should be getting about 20 of them from my seller overseas. Now, I would also recommend anybody that is going to the Houston PlantCon, please buy your plants from an international vendor. His name is Ricky. I've seen him since last year and seen him at many shows. Very trustworthy, worthy seller from Indonesia. His garden is called Art Garden Flowers. Please follow him on Instagram and definitely check out some of the plants he has available. And he actually has variegated anthuriums that you can pre-order. Please send him a direct message. He really responds very quickly, and who knows, you may get a really good plant price for those variegated anthuriums. That is who I get a lot of my Aglaonemas from, alongside with Green Spaces ID. I'm also getting some more Aglaonema in the next couple weeks, so that's something I'm super excited about. But as far as my Aglaonemas, moving forward, I think I'm just gonna pot them up in a soil substrate rather than putting them and semi-hydroponic substrates, because what I've noticed is I can still maintain Aglaonemas even if I do not water them as often. You know, a lot of times, or the reasons why I ended up putting a lot of my Aglaonema in semi-hydroponic substrates is because I felt that I wasn't going to be able to maintain the watering cycle for those plants. But Aglaonema, again, because it has been a topic of conversation in some of my previous plant shopping videos, is they're a little bit more resilient to drought tolerance. And honestly, if you are growing Aglaonemas, do not overwater them. It is okay to let an Aglaonema soil substrate dry out for at least a week before you give it a really good soak. They will be fine. Honestly, they will probably do better than keeping their soil super moist, because they are susceptible to root rot, and as well as like fungus, or that like browning on the leaves, where all of a sudden you just have that fungal mildew situation going on. So less water is really going to prevent that from happening for your Aglaonemas. And you can just see over here for $9.88, we've got a bunch of Vigoro plants. And I'm just going to mosey over here and continue to show you some more of these proven winner plants. They are ranging from $19.98 to $29.98. And it's really interesting because these proven winner plants are also labeled from Costa Farms. You'll see that this is a philodendron painted lady, and it is another beautiful plant. As I've stated in previous videos, philodendron painted lady, even though it has that beautiful yellow coloration, in order to maintain that, you must, and I say this, you must make sure that you are providing it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. Otherwise, it will revert to more of a greenish tone. So let's continue to look at some of these proven winner plants. I intend to buy more proven winner plants, specifically the caladiums that they're putting out there. I'm going to see if I can actually grow a caladium indoors. I mean, they do mention that it can be adapted as a house plant, so we'll see what that looks like. And if anybody else is going to buy some proven winner caladiums, please feel free to keep me updated. One thing I also love about the Plantfoldy community is how we all talk about the plants we are growing. We share our wins, we share our struggles, and I love that, because I feel like if you have a support system where we can encourage each other in terms of whether we're struggling with plants or if we're really doing well with the plant, I just feel like a community is better in terms of sharing that information. So let's continue to just keep looking at these proven winner leaf joy plants. Know that I will continue to just showcase a lot of these house plants available for you, and also mix up some of the outdoor garden plants in some of my future videos the next couple of weeks. I wanted to go ahead and just zoom in onto this plant again. Look at that gorgeous yellow neon leaf. Again, this is another plant you just have to make sure you're going to give bright indirect light. Otherwise, it's not going to hold on to that color. If you're able to maintain the lighting conditions, you're going to really have a showstopper plant. Proven Winner just has many philodendrons available. And, you know, in terms of Proven Winner leaf joy plants, I know we often associate the philodendrons and aroids through Costa Farms, but Proven Winner's Leaf Joy series, it's one that I would say everybody needs to also look at. And in order to really find those plants, you really need to go shopping at Home Depot. Now that we've actually looked at a lot of the indoor tropical plants, I did want to just take a gander and take a look at some of the plants in the outdoor tropical section and just outdoor plants as well. I mean, you can see that they've got a mixture of containers. Look at the stunning cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. plant with also the impatiens right over here. And then this purple shield plant for only $16.98. So if you want this Persian shield right here, this would make a perfect patio plant. It does need bright indirect light. You need to make sure that you're maintaining a good water level in terms of just consistently watering this plant. You don't want this plant to stay dry for too long, but I mean, this right here for $16.98, you're going to get a really nice purple tone for it. And then we're going to be looking at some of these ground covers. That's one thing I also like to explore when it comes to the outdoor garden section at a big box store like Home Depot, is just seeing what plants you could potentially take indoors and grow as an indoor tropical plant, like this one right here for $2.98. I don't know if anybody's actually ventured out into trying to grow some of these outdoor plants indoors. Plants I would recommend or try to grow indoors would be like coleus plants, caladiums. Those types of plants would actually do fairly well indoors. Now this one right here are the tropical shrubs, and this is another one that I like to take a look at. You can see that they've got some blooming tropical plants right over here. But what I really like looking at is going to be the crotons, which is going to be in just a bit. But take a look at these beautiful blooms. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about these plants. Clearly, you can grow some of these plants indoors, especially if they are a tropical plant. You'll just need to provide this particular one a lot of bright indirect light as well. And you can see over here, we've got a sea of croton plants. Most of them are going to be the croton petras. These are for $19.98. Now with crotons, it's either you love them or you hate them. I absolutely love them. They remind me of my family's home country, the Philippines, because a lot of these plants actually grow into full-blown trees. One of my favorite crotons to take a look at is the croton mame. I mean, can you take a look at this? It looks like this whole plant is on fire. Look at how vibrant the colors are. So we're just going to keep looking at these plants. Let me know what you think about the foliage, but this is another plant that just needs quite a bit of light. You can actually grow them in full sun outdoors as well. Changed their mind on this Encore Azalea bonfire, but I ended up actually getting one from the previous Home Depot plant shopping video. I just did not show it on the video, but you know, that's going to be something I will be sharing as I make it into bonsai. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of these plants right here. You can see that is a really nice Altanentera. That one has some beautiful neon yellow foliage. Now this one definitely needs to be growing outdoors as an outdoor type of ground cover shrub. And then I also like these variegated chifleras or umbrella plants, and take a look at the price, $9.98. This is going to definitely need a lot of bright indirect light, but you can definitely grow this beautiful plant indoors. Just make sure you provide it with bright indirect light. I remember when I went to the Philippines last year in July, these plants were actually grown as a shrub outdoors and even in full sun. So it just really depends on your growing environments. Unfortunately for North Dallas, my grow zone, which is 8B, this would not survive the cold winters. I ended up buying one of these plants actually at this particular Home Depot last year. I ended up sending it to Plant Heaven because I forgot to bring it indoors. It was actually growing outdoors in full sun, and it was doing very well for me. And again, for just $9.98, that is such a good price. And I just am in awe of the beautiful variegation. And that's the thing, you can find variegated plants for a cost-effective price. It's just that not a lot of people, for instance, are running over and trying to buy a variegated chiflera. I still think it's a stunning plant. And I mean, look at this sea of different types of croton plants. So we're going to continue to walk around here. I love the fact that the next set of croton plants are only going to be for $9.98. These are all provided by Costa Farms. So if you're going to buy a croton, rather than to spend, say, $8.98 for a 5-inch planter, if you happen to go to Lowe's, you'll see, I'm sorry, not Lowe's. If you happen to go to this Home Depot, $9.98, you'll get a different variety of these croton plants. As far as croton plants, the care tips are you definitely don't want to have the croton plant stay dry for too long. It will drop its leaves. It definitely needs quite a bit of light. If you're able to acclimate it to, say, the outdoors, where you put it in an area that gets quite a bit of morning sun, and eventually acclimate it to the point where you can put them outdoors in full sun, they are going to do very well. They will put on a lot of growth. And then in terms of the weather, they do not do well or respond well to cold weather. Once they get exposed to cold weather, oftentimes croton plants will actually drop their leaves. But you can see how these leaves are just very beautiful. It looks like somebody splattered paint on them. They look like works of art. And all of these plants right here have about 4 different croton plants. And so you're getting 4 plants for $9.98, which, if you were to ask my opinion, that is such a good cost-effective price for plants. Sometimes you have to look at the plant pot to see how many plants you're getting in a pot, and then just think of how much you're spending. I just feel like that's such a good value. This one is called the croton gold dust, which is basically one of the more common crotons. But needless to say, just because something is common, it does not mean it doesn't have any value in terms of somebody's plant collection. Truthfully, a lot of the common plants are common because they're readily available and definitely cost effective. $9.98. So let's continue to look at these plants right here. As I wrap up showing you all the tropical shrubs that are available to purchase at Home Depot, take a look at this beautiful cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. It's got some large foliage, they're nice and broad, and I just love the maroon color. This one is another plant that, even though some people say you can grow them indoors, it's another plant I just wouldn't recommend growing indoors because it's very much spider mite prone. And then I did want to highlight a couple more proven winter plants. These ones right here are coral bells. This one is really dark foliage, and just look at that. Beautiful black leaves right over here. And if you want like a gothic garden or something that's a little bit more darker theme, these beautiful coral bells are what you need to go for. Proven winners, and that is the reason why I say proven winner plants, especially when it comes to the outdoor plants. They are just winners for me, and I truly believe that they just have some great hybrids that they have. So let's continue to take a look at some of these proven winner plants right here. specifically the coral bell ones. Now, I wouldn't recommend growing these indoors. These would definitely be very much so spider mite prone. Otherwise, if you have it to where you can put them in a shade garden, they're gonna do very well for you. I mean, just the colors are stunning. So many different blooming plants. And speaking of blooming plants, lantana is a perennial, and I'm so glad that I actually have lantana coming back in my garden. Very fast growing plant. It has beautiful foliage as well as beautiful blooms. And then you can see right here, this is one of the coleus plants that I found. Again, for coleus plants, curious to see if any plant foldies have actually tried to grow these indoors. They work very well for me as well indoors. Now, a lot of people may not be into their velvety texture leaves, but you can always try to mix it up a little bit. So I encourage plant foldies to try to grow some of these plants that I would recommend, caladiums and coleus plants indoors, to see if they're going to work for you long-term indoors, or at least try to grow them in your patio garden. That's just something I would recommend. I really just want to expose you guys to more different types of plants that you may not necessarily gravitate to. And then the final portion of this video that I wanted to show you is just some of the lime and lemon trees that they have available here. You know, as far as lime and lemon trees, they are pretty easy to grow. The only thing you will need to make sure of is providing them with a lot of sun, full sun at best. And actually, I'm looking at this one. This could potentially be good pre-bonsai material. I've been really looking at certain plants, specifically encore azaleas, to try to make into bonsai stock. All of the Satsuki azalea that I bought from Metro Maples, for instance, have done very well after being transferred into a bonsai pot. And then you can see right here, we've got that calmodium, calamodin, I think that's how you pronounce it, or the calamansi tree that is available. And mine has so many fruits that are already starting to ripen, and I'm glad that I actually put good money to invest in such a plant that I'll be able to get a lot of use of. Plant foldies, in terms of fruit trees or vegetable plants, let me know in the comment section what you're growing in your garden aside from the indoor tropical plants. Or if most of you guys are growing indoor tropical plants, would you actually consider growing vegetables, herbs, and fruit trees out in your landscape? I'd love to know in the comment section below. And then you can even see right here, beautiful bougainvillea. Here is another plant that I just wish my weather or my groza would allow me to grow long-term outdoors. I know in California, these plants, these bougainvilleas, can actually grow all across a wall, and they are absolutely stunning. You can just see right over here, two plant foldies, that this Home Depot has so many many plants that they've actually had to extend their outdoor garden section right here. You know, it's always fun to just walk around and talk about the plants. You know, I do appreciate those that really tune into my videos and actually accept the fact that, yes, I love to talk. And yes, I am super talkative, but you know what? In terms of just the content, I always tell people, be your most authentic self. Do what you feel like is right for you. Do what is comfortable for you. So in terms of the content that I provide for my YouTube videos that I work super hard on, I will talk throughout the video. I will kind of show you more of the plants, but just bear in mind that I just like to give you guys my commentary and I just like to talk. So that's just really me. That's Richie. And if you ever run into me in real life, know that we can have a full-blown conversation about plants, and I'll never get tired about talking about plants. So again, plant foldies, if you enjoyed today's video and you want more content, join my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, for more content. Otherwise, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Grow Folds. This is Richie. I will have another brand new video for you the next day. Check out the videos on the screen that pop up at the very end of the video on the left and bottom right hand of the screen.